Jeff in chat. That is a good sign. That is a good sign for us. And I see the countdown. Guys, it's time.
Time for our first set. Our opening match here. You see PCO versus LST.
And for those of you who just came from the in-game ping or maybe just got here, this is a first to 2 of first to 11. So this is a best of 3 of first to 11. So this is not the only one we're going to see within this matchup.
Yeah, both of these players really just trying to download each other here. First set's going to be testing the waters, but you'd definitely rather win it than not.
Right, and this is definitely going to turn into a stamina game for these players. I mean, you mentioned downloading the other's playstyle. You really have to be able to adapt to what the other player has to throw at you, and it's going to be a good one.
And speaking of which, I think they're doing a great job at that. So far, we haven't seen anybody go for, like, insanely large and greedy surges. They've just been cycling minis. So when somebody does decide to make a move, it's going to be quite the performance.
All right, Jack's going to break here, be on the down stack a little bit. That's a nice 27 spike, but IIILL is still alive and trying to cook with his own stack.
And Vega has a lot of material on their board right now. Able to cycle the first eyepiece. Not in any immediate danger for their second. Both these players are going to be relatively neutral right now. Vega just trying to get through this little bit of cheese.
Jack getting that back-to-back going with this LST up stack. Not a lot of garbage on the board for him to deal with so far.
And this might be the play that they've been looking for.
Oh, absolutely.
That 7-2 stack, we know how potent that is. They're even gonna get the TSS forecast for even more extension.
Vega up at the top of the board, but has a lot of clean garbage to get through. That misdrop, though, is definitely going to slow him down.
Oh, never mind.
Nice all spins out of that.
Not able to find the force surge, which might have actually mattered for the kill.
And there you go. First point in this round of 16 goes to Jack.
That was a 2-minute round. That's on the longer side of things. Is this an omen of what's to come?
Oh.
Or is this just the prelude before the sparks really fly?
Yeah, the thing about these first to 2s is that these matches are very variable length, if I had to put a term on it. So we'll see how much of a stamina game this turns into.
And we're actually seeing the mutual surge numbers here. Love to see it when they're matching like that. Vega fires first.
The 36 spike there is enough to find the kill. Just a little bit of follow-up there is what IIILL needs to find their first point.
And they had so much more, even if that wasn't enough. What a way to get on the board. PCO comes out from both players. Neither are going to find the all clear.
Jack is the first to break.
Going to have the L pace on this surge. Yep.
Vega breaks with the 17 spike, putting Jack up at the top. Jack is able to maintain that back-to-back and breaks it after IIILL misdrops. Finds the second point.
We're seeing that amazing Jack defense. Have the counter spike at the ready. Not going to get too greedy with their surge when they smell a kill.
Some nice all spins from Jack to start this off here. Breaks with a 20 spike, and IIILL is continuing to build up that back-to-back. We see the -8 appear on Jack's board as Jack is hesitating a little bit here, getting some more all spins down, but IIILL is just building this up.
Yeah, power stacking these T-spins, looking for more. I can't believe they went for that, and they're gonna get away with it because of the Jack pause. And they just have so much compounding pressure. Jack's able to survive it initially. And they found the down stack.
IIILL trying to close this out right here, but Jack's at the bottom of the board and has some clean, upstacking some nice material, and that was a really great play from Jack there to stay alive.
Once again, just showing how prominent that defense is. But now we're gonna see that IIILL all spin. Trying to look for that count to 4 follow-up. Counting all the way up to 8!
Ooh.
Has the surge charged up, but they're not even gonna need it. Raw pressure is gonna be good enough, and that's a second point for them.
Love to see the DT cannon coming out here from IIILL, but that misdrop on that L is going actually to not slow them down in the slightest.
The swag tower's coming out from IIILL. They have the all-spin to fix it as well. Gonna open up the well. 38 spike down stack almost to floor.
Oh my gosh. The TST tower into the 38 spike there is insane.
Only the flashiest plays coming out from Vega here. You love to see it. Meanwhile, Jack's one with tried and true. Amazing L spin to access the well.
With the misdrop.
Preserve their surge for the full spike. Not a single bit of that spike was canceled, and that is going to give them a point and tied up again at 3.
Yeah, that's why this matchup is so tough to predict. When I was going through this, I was absolutely not sure which player to predict here, and definitely showing us an exciting beginning to our first match.
And we've already seen it like 3 times from Jack thus far, where they have the J or L spin double to like switch the well rather than any other like traditional efficiency kind of setup.
Ooh, yeah, IIILL with a misdrop there up at the top, and they were not able to correct their board quickly enough, and that's another point for Jack.
They really are just swinging back and forth with these leads. Nobody's running away with it just yet.
But Vega's running away with this LST stack. He's gotten out of it now and is choosing to break right there. Jack also breaks. IIILL's calculating here.
They're trying to find their optimal down stack, and yes, they have found it!
Yeah, I can see the first couple pieces of that, but definitely not that much. But a little bit of a tough situation. Not having the pieces to get out at the right time gives our first 2-point lead in this entire set.
Jack's definitely starting to find momentum. And right now, IIILL definitely seems to be in like lock-in or perish moment with these minuscule hesitations. That's all it takes to drop a round in these high echelon matches.
IIILL with the break, that leaves them with the -12 sitting there on the board, and IIILL has the down stack. They have their way out, but Jack is trying to post pressure. Ooh, the
180 fails. Able to find the TSD at the top of the board, but not able to cycle to the next eye. And Jack has doubled the score lead.
I really love the eye spin there from IIILL in that opener. Very pretty.
Gotta love SDP with no C-spin.
A little bit of plonking here.
Thinking.
Ooh, the 31 spike. Now we know what IIILL was thinking about there, was that 31.
Like, for most players, if you see them pause, a lot of the time that means they're kind of cooked, but when you see Vega pause, it's just like, oh god, what am I about to get hit with next?
Yeah, I knew we were about to get hit with something. I didn't expect it to be that.
That's when the shenanigans start to break out.
Speaking of shenanigans, the early 25 spike from Jack, is that the round?
I think it is, because that's I flat, and they're not able to make it to another one. And Jack's actually starting to maintain a lead.
Yeah, definitely taking advantage of that time that IIILL was using to think there to send some more follow-up pressure. I mean, Jack knew right there that IIILL was going to be able to find something, and so the right move there is to send so much that whatever IIILL finds there is not enough.
Yeah, you really don't want to give Vega time to think. Because the moment they finish their computations, you might just be the next target.
IIILL's board not looking great right now. He's going to have to figure out how to get through this cheese. He chooses just to break back-to-back. Both those players with no back-to-back. Jack up at the top, down stacking through this. Both players now, their board... Okay, IIILL regains their board. Jack regains his board. Things are all good in the hood for now, but Jack pressuring. IIILL up at the top, trying to figure out the correct sequence to get out. Gets the eyepiece, gets the fractal up at the top. Just stacking up more T-spins, because what else would you do here?
And these constant floatings from IIILL, just able to find so much pressure in like most bleak situations. Dual function, whether it be cancel or whether it be pressure. It's exactly what they need at any moment.
LFC over here from IIILL. Jack finds the first back-to-back. IIILL finds back-to-back as well. Both players breaking. Back to remotely even, both players towards the bottom of their board. IIILL building up that back-to-back.
And they have an insane well. They have the count to 4 on deck. It's time for them to start striding. 39 spike comes out. And that's just an impossible defense there. IIILL is closing this gap.
IIILL with the first back-to-back advantage here as we see that building up on Jack's board. Jack with the send. The 19 puts IIILL at the top. IIILL sends. Jack alive, but has that misdrop. Ooh, did not get the pieces down in time. There was that I piece in queue, but a little bit of fumbling with that S piece is what is going to give IIILL the opening for the point. And we are tied up yet again.
Tied once again. Gonna see the early TSDs from the player. Jack's gonna find a PC that maintains a back-to-back chain. So they're gonna be in a pretty decent advantage, all things considered. Oh, we're gonna see some blocking!
Love to see the blocking here.
IIILL's thinking a little bit too hard. That is going to be a force. And Jack's able to play.
Oh! That 26 spike, the nice little combo down stack. And I mean, if Jack had been able to keep going there, he had an eyepiece and he had a well. That spike was about to be so much bigger than that.
Oh, yeah. You just know there's more in the chamber there.
And that's what you have to be. If you're one of these top players, you always have to have more ready to go because with Surge, these players are able to defend against so much.
The Surge wasn't even necessary there. Once again, Vega thinking a little bit too hard, and Jack's just gonna run away with that punish. PCO comes out from both players. Neither are going to accept the PC. And Jack's gonna get some cheese to persist onto IIILL's side.
Yeah, it was some smart plays right now, but that's a lot of cheese, and that's a misdrop on that Z piece. They're gonna have to try to think around this here. He decides to just clean this up.
It forces the surge break, and now they're gonna start doing their hesitations. It's gonna be an extremely tough bounce sack. Time is of the essence. Looking for the eyepiece.
Ooh.
Gets the first, gonna need another. And the misdrops from Jack comes out. This is exactly what IIILL needed. What a way to bring that round back.
It's really interesting to see these players taking so much time to think. I feel like that's something that we haven't seen that much in TWC, but it's definitely helping out both of these players when they do pause and take a moment.
Yeah, usually whenever you run out of steam, you kind of just fall over, but if that time is spent wisely enough, you definitely have options. This is going to be set point Jack.
All right, another reminder that this does not mean that the entire match is over. This is just, well, after this point, but it is a first to 2 of these first to 11 sets. So this is match point for game 1.
Yeah, we are running supersets in this format. And that is a lot of cheese on IIILL's side. It's going to be an extremely tough down stack, but we've seen how they've navigated thus far. Forecasting so many TSDs in their down stack.
And Jack's board is so clean right now. He is plonking. He is waiting for that garbage to come in, but not too much gets there on his board, and he's mostly in charge of things. IIILL with a misdrop there that they're fixing. Oh, another misdrop there.
Comes out from IIILL. And that sequence coming out from IIILL looks so nice. But it's not able to find the initial kill. Jack has more, but the eyepiece misdrop!
And there is no deuce here. So this is just straight up a first to 11.
No deucing. It's a Worlds Breaker, and that's it.
Ill really
Ill
thinking
did
a lot
have
after that one misdrop.
PST forecasted. Able to find the down stack to I-Cycle. Extremely well played from Vega there.
Yeah, Vega staying alive really well, trying to bring this to tiebreaker. Gets the -82 PR on Jack's board. Jack has to try to find a way into that well. There's that well access, and Jack is staying alive. Really clean gameplay from him to try to close this out. Get that first set under his belt, but Ill doesn't want to go down.
If anybody knows their way around a well, it's gonna be Jack. Having near limitless cycle potential, they're gonna stay in this game. Nice first down stack, but they're gonna need more, because the stride is out, and we have a Worlds Breaker in our opening set!
Love to see it. First tiebreaker, first set. Gotta keep it exciting for the fans.
Now I can only imagine the mental importance of taking this set here.
Oh, for sure. The mental game is huge in these sets. A lot of this game is playing with confidence, and if you get that first set, you play with that confidence, it could be a huge game maker.
Confidence is key is more than just a saying. It's even a mantra for some of these players. The strides coming out from Vega as they try to secure the set. Not able to get it, but they weren't greedy. They didn't commit the surge, so they're gonna maintain their advantage. Still has the counter force to boot.
Yeah, Ill continuing to build up that back-to-back. Jack just has to get that good well access going. Jack sees the -20 at the top of the board, but in this situation, you gotta play cool. You got to just try to get a hold of your board and get ready for the incoming spike. Try to spike your opponent, force them to spike. And that was the perfect play from Jack.
But to play it cool. That's exactly how Jack handled it. It's this exact mentality that lets him have that signature defense. What a way to take that first up.
That first set going to tiebreaker is amazing, and Jack played that so well there. And this is a piece of advice that pretty much anybody can take into their games. If your opponent is building that surge, you just have to stay calm. You have to either have your board ready for them to break, or you have to send a spike and force them to break. Sometimes you can even send some cheese, but that's exactly what Jack did right there. Sent a bit of pressure, forced Ill to break, and then once Ill broke, Jack had more of a down stack ready to go. And that was just cinema there from Jack. Exactly how you should play that situation at a surge disadvantage.
Absolute cinema. I'm hitting the pose right now.
Yeah, I'll put the cinema in chat. We got the 7TV emotes going.
Yup.
But that is not all for that matchup. We are going to get into our second set in this matchup here soon.
And with how close that first set went, it truly is gonna go either way.
All right, we do have a player requesting a 5-minute break here, so I don't know. Well, probably. I don't know what the policy is on that. I'm not in charge. I'm just here. I'm spectating with you guys, and so, okay. Okay, so players will request a few minutes if they need it. So again, we mentioned stamina and that being an issue. I mean, depending on how you play, like this game can be really tough on your hands, really tough on your wrists. So it's definitely important. And even just like for your mental to get up, walk around, get your water, hang out before starting your next match.
Yeah, taking those mental reset breaks whenever they're offered, always a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when we get into, I mean, that's about as long of a match as we can have, going all the way to tiebreaker. And there are some kind of long rounds in there too, so definitely a good idea to get up and walk around. But when we sent out a forum asking players to, self-identify like their strengths and their weaknesses, a lot of players said that their mental was their weakness, which I feel like that just kind of is how the game works.
I mean, that only makes sense. To get to this kind of level, you kind of have to, like, absolutely train the heck out of your mechanics. And finding time to do just about anything else, especially in the mental side of things, is just so tough to balance.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, so many of these players are sitting there making split-second decisions, trying to understand, their opponent's board, read just the right amount, watch the back-to-back. And so those split-second hesitations, because of just the way that this game is so fast-paced, they can be make or break in these rounds.
Truly.
Go for it. Shout out the donations.
Y'all, we have some momentum for the start of the round of 16. We have 260 people in the audience right now. Shoutouts to you guys. Welcome to CWC 2025. First match is electric. We start with a tiebreaker. That's insane. And we have some insane contributions to the prize pool as well. I'm going to shout some contributions that came in after we stopped our stream last week, or 2 weeks ago actually. Had quite a few merch purchases. Thank you guys. Jumping Jackie with the Tetrio logo keychain. Unfortunately can't read this name, but 0325 is at the end of it. Who bought 3 TWC and Tetrio keychain bundles. It's a lot of keychains. Must be given away to some friends and family. Thank you. Commando bought a jersey. Never Knew bought a jersey. I think right after we ended the stream, Call Me Star bought a jersey. Shoutouts. Soul Speed bought a keychain bundle. Got Banana Man buying a Tetrio keychain, and Random Guy dropping $250 into the prize pool, leaving the comment brought to you by vgen.co/a_random_guy. If you want a custom watch, want that watch commission, fund that donation, go over there and get yourself a custom watch. Random Guy is amazing with those. Thank you guys so much for the contributions. We are now at $1,317.23 in the pool. Hopefully growing throughout the rest of the night and tomorrow. I do still need to update this graphic, but I have the big one.
The TVA item is the jersey. Yeah, look at that thing. So cool.
So pretty. You heard it. I caught it on release night. Like, there's no way I'm not gonna get this.
Haha.
Chat saying they should sell vouchers for physiotherapy so I can get my RSI cured. Gonna note that down for next Worlds. See if we can get a partnership going. Thank you for the thought, though.
2027.
I'll toss it back to you guys.
That was good. No. That sent me also the chat message that said, find it funny they sell Tetrio mouse pads, a game that doesn't need a mouse. Add mouse controls to Tetrio when. Mouse controls.
I'm thinking about just seeing one specific player cook with that. I think you're thinking of the same one.
Yeah, there's just one connoisseur of the mouse controls. Absolutely bodied me on mouse controls. She is an absolute menace there. Shout out Radical Cup. If we add that setting, it's just for you.
So true.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know how mouse controls work, you move your mouse side to side to move the piece side to side, which is it's interesting. It's a very unique kind of gameplay that most people find infuriating.
Then if you're wondering how you get your rotate and like hard drop buttons to work, you have your side buttons, you have your middle click, you have your scroll wheel, you have so many. Cause like Tetrio is a game that doesn't really need that many controls, if you haven't noticed. So you really do have all your bindings on a mouse.
I think you would maybe be missing out on 180, but if you had more side buttons, you could get like more creative with that. But
gotta get that specific custom-made mouse for Tetrio. Gotta get the haptic feedback. Just slam my mouse on the table. That's 180.
I don't really think I'm allowed to say out loud what's going on in the room chat right now, but it's good.
Oh, yeah, oh gosh. And there was a specific scoreline that happened in the match. I didn't want to say it in the match, but now that we're on downtime, you already see it. Score was 6-7. Spyco, do.
Yeah, I saw that
into
too.
set 2. And the mutual SVPC comes out. Wondering if that was one of the adaptations, both of which just tried to go for the explosive start. Jack's gonna be the beneficiary, getting that initial surge lead, but they're not able to keep the advantage for too long.
Yeah, and IIILL has that surge lead now, trying to continue building that up. Has to break here, and both players left with a little bit of cheese on the board. IIILL's board just looking worse and worse for wear here as more of that cheese comes in from Jack. Jack now at the bottom has the opportunity to upstack this here, going for some all spins along the way, but IIILL with the 18 spike is going to find the round.
And this is one dynamic of these players that I find so interesting. Jack has always been one to cheese up their opponents as much as possible, but Vega's kind of like a hard counter to that. Finding these like very calculated down stacks, and it really could just be counter multiplier that nobody's really expecting.
IIILL up at the top, having to downstack this. Jack has a little bit of time and opportunity to build up that back-to-back. Here he goes with this, and the 20 spike there forces Jack to break. There we go, with a lot of cheese on the board. What is IIILL doing?
Trinity into all spin. Okay. And there's more where that came from. But you already see that Jack defense. They have all of their wells lined up. They're ready for the cancel if they so desire. 42 comes out from IIILL.
Not quite ready for the 42 spike there. Jack was ready for a lot, but not quite that.
And that is one of the cool things about the surge mechanic. If you're able to get past the phase of just cycling the mini surges, those large surges where the surge alone is enough to completely top out your opponent, it's just that much more terrifying. Ooh. And the mid-game all clear comes out from IIILL. Coming in for style points.
Yeah, those PCs don't really do much in that season 2, but they are cool.
And Jack's just been holding this 6-3. They had the column 7 for a little bit, so they're gonna be able to hold it for that much longer. Sending the 38. Vega has a multiplier. Just that cancel.
The survival there is insane, and IIILL trying to fight back, but Jack is building up that back-to-back yet again, continuing on with this. IIILL sees the -8 on the board, goes for the cheese strat. Jack breaks as well with that 18. IIILL does not have well access, and Jack finds the point.
Extremely hard-fought round for both players, but the Jack sustained pressure is gonna be enough. Because there's really not that many players like IIILL when it comes to just those downstack cycles, but sometimes even they have their limits. Jack is pushing them.
Some nice all spins going on IIILL's side as they break into the 22 spike, leaving a little bit of cheese on Jack's board. Jack just goes for the down stack here. That's going to give IIILL the opportunity to build up the back-to-back with the all spins. Some T-spins ready to go, and there's the 30 spike.
But Jack has to cancel.
Alive. The counter spike.
Makes it to their floor well. They're going to take us into 6-3. Not able to hold it for too long, but they do make the 4 surge threshold. Very important damage number there. Both players just trying to make it all the way to the bottom, but Jack's gonna send a 33 in their down stack, and that efficiency is gonna be all that they need to find that top out and find this tie. We're gonna see some waiting from these players. Okay, swag over hangless looping from IIILL there into the 23. There's just no end to the IIILL creativity. You love to see it. And they're gonna immediately take this into the pattern stack. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Tried and true. And they got the well exactly where they want it to be.
That well is gorgeous from Jack, and he's going to make use of that. Well, IIILL misdrops that T-piece on the side. There's not much you can do about that misdrop.
And we're seeing a very similar start to the last set. Both of these players just swinging back and forth with these leads and these reties. But eventually one of these players is going to run away with it. It's only a matter of when.
IIILL continuing to build up this back-to-back on the downstack. Briggs with the 25 spike, and Jack's board just not ready. One piece later in the sequence would have been good there for Jack, but IIILL finds the point.
Usual PCOs from these players. Neither gonna go for the all clear. Kind of a staple in this matchup. How many times have we seen the mirror PCO?
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of PCO that doesn't go for PC. I feel like that's been very popular in this Season 2 rule set. I've kind of been calling it PCO stack. I just think that the shape that PCO builds gives a lot of opportunities for all spins, and that's why players have been going for it recently.
Oh, for sure. And because it's already such an established opener, there's just so much intuition that goes into that that's not necessarily needed to practice.
No shot, Osk just typed pray for my sleep schedule in chat.
Oh gosh.
We're all tied up. Yet again.
Back and forth, retie after retie. And a 5 PPS LST start's gonna come out from IIILL. Unfortunately, they are gonna fly a bit too close to the sun. Able to find the first down stack. But they were in a very dicey situation there.
And IIILL building up these spins at the top of the board with the 22 spike for the down stack. Jack's board is looking clean though. That's a nice well that he has to get into right now. Making sure to make the most of it here. Counting to 4, getting down, getting that back-to-back going, trying to pressure right now.
Counting to 4 high and 4 surge, they're gonna break it. And that 14's enough at such a good time. And the lead is back in Jack's favor. That was actually a misrotation from IIILL, but it's actually gonna be such a swift recovery, especially into this mech shape. Just running away with a surge advantage, but they have been known in just this set to get a little bit greedy with it, not gonna do the same mistake.
Jack with the misdrop here is going to have to slow down and fix this. That's going to give IIILL the chance to build that back-to-back, and Jack does not find a way out. Bringing us to, I think, our 4th tie of this game.
And that's just such a scary sight to see when IIILL is just not hesitating in the slightest. Because you already know what their potential is when they're able to just hit the jets. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Jack not able to make the 4 surge, so they're not going to have the cancels for the 25 incoming. And IIILL takes a lead right back.
Yeah, IIILL definitely needs to keep this alive if they want to bring this to the tiebreaker set.
The stick spin comes out. We've seen quite the variety of openers, even at the top level. Nothing too optimal.
I was wondering if IIILL was going to set up an Imperial Cross there up the top of the board, but not quite. Chooses to bail out of it, decides that it's a bit too greedy. Jack up at the top now, not really seeing, okay, getting the pieces that they need to get out. There was no eyepiece there for a while, but he adjusts.
I mean, that's speed cycling. Always nice to have that option. IIILL is one to leverage that whenever they can. Both players gonna be at similar back-to-back. Jack looking for the multiplayer, not able to find it, but the raw combo alone is going to be enough to find the top out.
IIILL with a lot of all spins on the open, bringing that -8 over to Jack's board. IIILL breaks. Jack handling it with the counter spike there.
They're going to be stuck in 8-1 though. So that is going to be a hit to their damage potential, especially after those misdrop. Now it's Jack's time to spike. The punish is there. The lead swings once again.
Those chain misdrops are brutal from IIILL. Once you misdrop a couple pieces in a row, it is so hard to get that board back to a good spot. And speaking of misdrops, IIILL opening with a couple more, but turning them into all spins here, definitely keeping their cool.
And the forecast coming out from IIILL here. I can't even put into words how to describe that one.
Yeah, but Jack with a good play to force IIILL to break there, and IIILL's now on the downstack. His board's not looking great. IIILL staying alive. There's the pieces, but the eye misdrop.
And once again, Jack's going to be the person with the first 2-point lead of the set. It's looking like a repeat of the last one. IILL's gonna look to try and break this chain. Definitely
Yeah, but Jack is
easier said
opening
than
this
done.
quick. Playing confident right here. Trying to pressure.
Exactly what they want to see, and IILL with the most greedy STSD in the modern era. I can't believe you got away with that, but there's more. 32 comes out, playing at 4.6, 270 APM. Ridiculous stat line to take that point.
Jack starting off with the pattern stacking, but going into this, these are nice forecasts here on this freestyle, but IILL with the quick break in the 26 spike. More fast stacking here.
They're able to find it, and they're actually able to compound it into their next stack. Very impressive stuff here. Breaking now, trying to send mostly cheese over to Jack, but it is all going to be canceled. Jack's making a move.
That was a very clean sequence there from Jack to find that kill. Doing a great job with the material that they had. Ending up at the bottom of the board, still finding the damage and still finding the pressure to try to get towards that final point.
When players usually end up playing so carefully, it's so satisfying to see it when they do start to burst. They identify some blood in the water.
There's a couple of hesitations in IILL's gameplay right now. Ooh, and a misdrop. Nice fix with the L spin. The L spin double comes through there for IILL, and it's very cool. Some more all spins. Both sides.
Oh, both
Jack
sides.
thinking.
Not necessarily blocking, but just thinking about what to do next. And we're gonna see a very similar situation from IILL here, having the high surge lead. Gonna get a little bit too greedy with it, allowing Jack the time to escape. But IILL is looking to cycle another one, gets it mini. Jack's able to cycle all the way to the floor well.
Yeah, Jack, really good read there. Really good understanding of what's going on the other side. Handling it well, staying cool under pressure.
These forecasts from Jack, looking for the mech shape as well. But those hesitations against Vega is not gonna work out.
And Vega finds enough pressure there. Staying in this. Keeping it exciting.
One thing that I have to point out is that hesitations for Vega and Jack are not equal, because Vega's hesitating on 5 PPS potential and Jack's hesitating on 4 PPS potential, and that's gonna make a big difference in what the punish windows are.
Ooh, Jack with a misdrop, but it doesn't matter because Vega does not have the pieces to get out. And the misdrop on that J piece there is what sealed it.
And this is actually real match point for Jack here. IILL is gonna find the early all clear. And what a spike from IILL. There's more where that came from, but Jack was ready with the down stack. They're gonna need to do it again, though, because IILL is cycling another surge lead. 23 comes out, and there's more where that came from. 300 APM comes out from IILL.
IILL staying in this here. We see the PCO stacks from both sides. IILL goes for the PC.
Gets the floating. Beautiful
Jack with the
find.
misdrop.
Trying to find the down stack, but there's no way to access that well, and we see a second Worlds Breaker.
Would you like a side of tiebreaker with your tiebreaker here? Are we going to get the tiebreaker set? Let's find out.
IILL is going to get the initial surge lead, but Jack's been known to play pretty well from behind. Able to find the first well, the second, but there's still more pressure where that came from IILL. Has that column 7 ready.
IILL just working speed right now. Breaks.
But that was very well played from Jack. Able to cancel that surge prematurely. And that's going to be huge for their tempo.
Jack just staying alive on so many split-second moves right now. This is so well played, and this is just insanely clean down stacking from Jack. Staying alive, making sure that this kill is so difficult for IIILL right now. IIILL trying to build up that back-to-back yet again. Jack sends, forces IIIL to break. Jack up at the top of the I miss drop! The I miss drop!
And we're going to set 3! Unfortunate way to go out there from Jack. Such nice defense cycling, even able to survive just about all of the damage front. But they were their own worst enemy in that final round.
That is such a sad way to see that go out there. And yeah, IIILL asking for the 3-minute break, Jack asking for the 5-minute break. Both players definitely going to get up and chill out, so.
Only makes sense. Luckily for them, they're not going to have to worry that much about stamina as they are only playing 1 match today. But for one of these players, it could be their final match of the event. So definitely a lot of nerves to be had there.
Do you see what IIILL typed in the chat? My heart not working properly. Oh my gosh.
Like, that's how I'm feeling right now. I can only imagine how it is from the player's perspective. Dang.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, they are going to be getting their well-deserved break.
Yeah, so they're gonna give us a break too, because boy, that was that was insane. I mean, like, Jack just playing a masterclass of defense there, showing us exactly how you should do it, but a couple of misdrops, and that's where the nerves come in. Both of these players definitely feeling those nerves right now, making sure to shake them off with these breaks, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of players opt to take those breaks in between sets tonight.
I'm actually very curious if anybody predicted a double Worlds Breaker from any of these matchups this event.
Yeah, I definitely would not have seen that coming, the 10-11, 11-10, but you know what a great way to start our round of 16.
And now, of course, we've got to answer the burning question. Do you think we're going to see a three-peat in that regard?
I mean, I would love to see it. I think we should get some predictions going in chat. If nobody else does them, I will, because I have permission, because I like to see those. And so, yeah, what do you guys think? Who do you guys have coming back? Do you have Jack or do you have IIILL in this final round? If you want to toss a score prediction, toss a score prediction. I want to see how you guys are feeling. Let's see.
In the meantime, is there anything you noticed from these two players that you would want to point out right now?
I think that's really what it's really just the defense. I think that's the biggest thing for me. As a defensive player myself, I noticed just how strong the defense is and keeping the board in the good spot.
Definitely well said. The defense is ridiculous. One thing from Jack specifically, this is definitely more of an offensive thing, but I've noticed that when they have large surges, they try to tank literally everything so that their surge is sent fully uninterrupted. And that's a tool that's used in like so many other stackers. Like whenever you have a large spike, especially when the surge is allowing you to just charge hold it anyway, to just try and send it all uninterrupted. And it actually is such a powerful tool. It has secured quite a few top outs.
Oh yeah, for sure. And okay, so we see this final one. There was a question about in the lobby chat of if this is deuce or not. No deuce on this final one. This is just straight up first to 11. And it looks like Jack is ready.
No deuce. Adapt or it's deuces. You know the drill.
All right. It looks like players are exchanging their GLHF.
The players are ready. We're ready. We
No
hope y'all are ready.
I'm so ready. I know you're ready. We are off in our tiebreaker set.
I'm sorry, but the no waste T3 floatings from IIILL is insane. Going for the explosive start.
And the early misdrop from Jack does not help.
Definitely not. IIILL is actually gonna attempt to plonk the first send. But Jack was ready for it. Gonna see mutual surge numbers from the players. They're looking to go for more offensive takes here. They have the column 7, so they're definitely gonna be able to stride for a spike. Sends over 24 plus 5. But Jack was ready with a down stack. We're gonna see that excellent defense. And there's no extra down stack ready for IIILL.
Yeah, defense looking strong there. Another even start.
PCO comes out again from Jack. Gonna build this shapey shape here. And a 28-33 comes out from Jack of pure sustain.
The 33 spike
have a
out
down
of...
stack, but
Yeah, they did have down stack, but they greeted for that hold.
yeah, the moment IIILL has to hesitate, like, it's kind of like a Dark Souls boss. Like, they have such telegraphed windows of opportunity.
What is IIILL trying to do?
I think that was just too many misdrops, and there's just no way out of that one. They tried to go for the C-spin, and then it just downhill from there.
IIILL with the fast LST to start this off, putting a lot of garbage on Jack's board. Jack cuts off that well access, and that is going to give them the point.
Once again, very familiar start. Might happen again. Both players are gonna immediately be forced into that column 2. Not too much efficiency to be gathered after that. Jack, no more skims available with the eyepiece in the hold. What a sad way to go out. But that is 3rd point to IIILL, tied back up.
All right, we have the all clear here from IIILL.
Mutual surge numbers. Jack has a cut copy ready. They're gonna spike it all, but it is going to be interrupted by the counter surge. But that follow-up's gonna be more than enough to secure the top out.
Jack finding another point here. Still staying in neck and neck. Talk.
5 PPS LST coming out from IIILL.
Love to see it.
And they're gonna break at such a good time. And then re-enter the 2-7. Very swag kind of all spins. Trying to find the counts. Once again, successful well swap. But Jack's ready with this defense. They're gonna force the break here. But because the break was forced, that means that Jack has some time to get out. The time is definitely borrowed, only delaying the inevitable as we're tied up once again at 4. Oh! Center ties!
Are you kidding?
Center ties in Worlds! It's real!
Is it gonna work?
Unfortunately, not
piano.
able to find the full multiplier, but it's still hype. And now we're gonna see Jack taking this significant surge lead here. Vega has so much material, they're looking to force it. But Jack does the thing, they have the full take, so it's sent uninterrupted, and that is enough to secure the top out by itself. Very
and that's
useful
what
tool.
you get for forwarding.
Listen, sometimes it's optimal. Like, imagine if it hit, though. They're playing for the fans.
But it, it didn't. So we get to see another round of forward losing. All right. So IIILL building up that back-to-back, has that -8 appearing on Jack's board.
And these constant donations coming out from IIILL, they're just so nice to see. Stacking truly looks like an art form in more ways than one. But now they're really at the mercy of their queue with that cheese at row 20. And Jack taking it pretty early this time, but the first 2-point lead of this set. IIILL has overcome this once before. They're gonna have to run it back. Easier said than done. Jack's gonna be on the receiving end of some cheese. But a 4-combo quad's gonna be all they need to get out of there. But there is more where that came from. 25 plus 4 comes out from IIILL.
The Z-Mesh drop comes through, but I don't think there was much of a follow-up there.
I mean, just about every time IIILL has been at a 2-score deficit, they really just lock in. Like, there's no other way to really say that. If they're able to tap into that in normal circumstances, then I can definitely see them possibly running away with this.
Speaking of running away with it, both players there with that surge. Jack is the first one to break. IIILL breaks as well. We end up about neutral. IIILL finding the 16 spike follow-up, but that's going to leave Jack with a clean well. IIILL continuing to spike, and there's where the messy garbage comes in. That's going to give IIILL a little bit of a chance to build up this back-to-back, and the misdrop forces them to break early. More all spins coming
Jack
through.
wanted to see. They're at the floor. They're looking for those offensive tanks. Unfortunately, what they receive is cheese. So they're going to be immediately pressed back into the back foot. And IIILL, once again, 32 down stack spike. And we are tied again at 6. Which means you know what's coming next.
I knew you were going to say that. All right, we'll see who gets the 7th point. IIILL with the 31 spike is going to put Jack up at the top. Jack does not have the pieces to get out, and there is our 6-7.
Spike go do 6-7.
I could feel that you were waiting for that. That was good. A little bit of back heart from Jack here. As now the -8 is appearing on IIILL's board.
And that sequence from IIILL is criminal. It's gonna keep them in the game to another encounter, able to cycle to every eyepiece they need. And we're gonna return to neutral. Jack looking for the floor to get those offensive tanks.
IIILL timing that 27 spike.
I believe for the first time in this entire match is getting their own 2-point lead. The lock-in is real.
And the center forward is also real.
Yo, the second they get a cushion, oh my goodness. And it's center tied, so they're allowed to tank. They have the funnel as well. But unfortunately, they don't get the pieces for the multiplier. That could have just been an insta-kill on the spot. But now they are going to have to play the game, and it's looking precarious.
0 for 2 on center forward starts.
Listen, it's gonna work one of these times. Keep gambling.
Well, they're running out of room. They're running out of runway here.
And IIILL with the whatever they had to floor, just so good at finding those. It's like a switch flips in their brain whenever they see it. Just target locked, I'm out of there. Within fractions of a second. Pretty simple down stack from IIILL here. Not needing to think too hard. And not in an insane deficit either. Jack, the second they get their 4 threshold, they're gonna go ahead and break it, compounding their advantage. But it's not gonna be for too long, as now they have to deal with all this cheese.
IIILL's board looking clean though. Getting that Z-piece for the Z-spin. Wow, and this is really clean stacking here from IIILL, but they're gonna be forced to break here. Do they even get the pieces to break? There's the break, and Jack finds the pressure, pushes IIILL up to the top of the board, keeping this close.
Even though the scoreline is as close as ever, one thing is drastically different. IIILL is currently at the score lead, so Jack's gonna be the one playing from behind. How they're gonna manage, we're about to find out.
Looking to manage pretty well so far. As Jack builds up that back-to-back advantage, Ill breaks. Jack keeps playing, keeps building up this back-to-back, but that board is a mess. Jack has to break, and the eye misdrop, the vertical eye misdrop from Jack leaves them in a not so great spot. And Ill is going to be the one to bring it to match point.
There is no more room for error for Jack. Their tournament run comes down to this one match.
And this one center forward.
All right. Is the third one going to come out? They don't have the funnel. And Jack is able to cancel the majority of the cheese, maintaining a surge advantage as well. But this time the game doesn't end nearly as early. May not be 100% success, but it's not 100% fail either.
Jack getting that back-to-back going, getting that surge going, trying to stay alive right now. Breaks with the 22 spike.
Jack.
Ill does not have an eyepiece in queue that soon. They're going to have to try to figure out a way around this, but bringing it to 9-10. Jack staying alive, trying to give us that third Worlds Breaker in a row.
If we see a Worlds Breaker three-peat on our first match, it's gonna be ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as the fourth center forward. They have the funnel, but the combo's not large enough to actually do something significant. Jack's gonna have the surge advantage, and it's not looking good for Ill.
The misdrop from Jack. Ooh. This is fixable, or is it? No, it is not.
And the thing is, if they got out of there, Ill was out of pressure for the next, like, 2 encounters. What a sad way to go out. Worlds Breaker denied. But Ill is going to move on.
And that is going to be the end of Jack's TWC run. 07 for Jack, 07 to